Superman Lost issue 8 sees a thief sneak into an apartment in Texas while the owner talks aloud about the Borgero painting he owns, intricately talking about the 8th circle of hell the painting depicts. The thief finds out that the man talking is Lex Luther, and he has entered the man's house. The thief points a gun at Lex, who tells him to pull the trigger since he's had a good life, and the only thing still bothering him is why his house wall is still intact, since Superman should have burst through it weeks ago, as he killed the woman he loves, and Boy Scouts are rarely known for their restraint. He tells the thief he can take whatever he wants since he got through 13 different lockouts, so he's earned it and he should call Lex's guy to set up a lunch. Lex leaves and gets a call from Lois, who he knows hasn't told Superman about her cancer yet. Lex tells her that he should tell him since he engineered the cancer to rapidly take her and she'll be dead within a week. Lex continues to talk, almost pleading for the woman to tell Superman that he was the one behind her illness, but Lois stays silent, listening to the villain prattle on a little bit more before hanging up without saying a word. Upset, Lex notices the thief is still there, telling him to put the gun down since the firing pin was burned away by his death beam. Lex puts his arm around the man, kidding about the death beam as he laments about what has derailed Superman. Sometime before on Rann, Superman is met by Alana Strange, who knows that the hero is having a hard time waiting for the Zeta Beam, figuring that Superman has run the numbers in his head and thinks that he could fly the 4.5 light years himself. Adam arrives, telling him that time dilation would mess him up and he would end up losing about 10 years by the time he got back to Earth, since space travel is time travel. Alana laments about how it always makes Adam late for dinner, but the adventurer knows that it's worth it, but since they can't predict where the Zeta Beam will hit, Superman has to stay by his side the entire time, which makes for awkward moments. Adam explains that the Zeta Beams aren't meant for passengers, but if Superman uses his speed, he might just be able to stay with him. Clark doesn't like that this is all theoretical since he left a dying planet with all of their hope placed in a single rocket, praying for him to bring back help, and every minute lost is torture to him. Adam understands, but they haven't been able to find Kansas anywhere in the known star systems. Suddenly, the Zeta Beam hits and Adam grabs Superman, readying to take the hero home to Earth finally. Sometime later, Superman confronts the gigantic Metallo out in a storm-ravaged ocean, telling John that the nearby peninsula is being ravaged by the tsunami and they should be helping. Metallo tells the hero that this is the same peninsula that has been in dispute since the war ended, and the last thing America needs is a new one, which is why he absorbed a few of the warships and took the battle group that was patrolling the peninsula out of the equation. The villain acknowledges Superman in Chinese, telling them that they don't agree, but he acknowledges the problems that Superman faces. Superman tries to focus him on the tsunami as some part of him did come there to help. Metallo wonders which part did, asking if it was the part that spent 31 months in a vegetative state before being shoved into a cyborg shell for the rest of his life. Superman tells him that there are lives at risk, and his life is what he makes it, and he remembers his father teaching him that he can make change or you can make excuses. Suddenly, Supergirl, wearing Superman's white solar suit, smashes right through Metallo, ripping out his kryptonite core and taking John offline. Kara doesn't want to hear it from her cousin, telling him that Metallo could have easily killed him with his kryptonite from that range. Clark knows that it was all under control and she should have given Metallo a chance. Supergirl reminds him that Metallo has had many chances over the years and none have seemingly stuck. Superman dives into the water to retrieve John, telling his cousin that John is lost and he knows a little bit about that right now. Later on, Kara removes the white suit, telling Clark that while it wasn't lead-lined, it blocks harmful radiation, just long enough to be used against the kryptonite. Kara reminds her cousin that she was sent to Earth to protect Kal-El, and she is still doing that, but she can see that he is traumatized and grieving the loss of his second adoptive world. Clark tells her that he left to bring back help, but Kara figures that he can't find his way back, and even if he could, it would be too late, and the planet is long gone by now. She tells him to begin moving on since he's back home now. Clark isn't so sure about that as Lois finishes throwing up, combating the sickness from the cancer with more pills as she goes to see Terry, the woman who was driving the car filled with the money from Senator McMonigal. Terry doesn't want anything to do with Lois, but the reporter tells her that she doesn't think the senator was dirty and is being framed. Elsewhere, Lex continues to determine why Lois has not told Superman about her condition yet, mulling over how she could keep that a secret as he has his people drug a doctor with a confession serum. He thinks that maybe she is trying to mask the cancer in some way, and suddenly it clicks to him as back in their apartment, Clark finds a positive pregnancy stick next to the sick Lois, who tells him that she'll be okay soon. She mentions that the lead she got on the Senator story, but Clark tells her to forget work, prompting Lois to remind him that he is also buried in work and using it as a cover as well. Clark knows that he hasn't been there for Lois, and his wife reveals that for nearly 3 months he hasn't even said her name, and if he never finds that planet, she will never get him back. Clark has accepted that the planet is gone, but it makes Lois think that then she's made a mistake, since she might have lost Clark forever already, and until he resolves this, Earth will never get their Superman back either. Clark goes to see Black Adam, who thinks that the hero must be desperate to turn to him for help. Clark forgot how much Adam loves the sound of his own voice, revealing that he came to him since once the wizard Mamaragan banished him to the universe's farthest star, and it took him 5,000 years to get home, so maybe Adam might have seen the planet Kansas in his travels. Adam, however, thinks that he seeks a kindred spirit and someone who has also made the long journey home from the cold of space. Adam Strange joins the duo, telling Adam to stop being a dick and answer the question. However, Adam knows that recalling one insignificant world among trillions in a 5,000 year span is just absurd. As the heroes help Adam deal with some invaders, Black Adam tells them that Mamaragan is part of an ancient order of old wizards who resent Adam since he was once the original champion of Mamaragan, which is why these demon invaders are attacking them now. Adam implores that they seal the dimensional breach quick, launching into a pompous, self-congratulating speech before using his powers to destroy the creatures and stop the portal. Adam returns to the Teth Adam human form, telling the heroes that the time dilation was in play with his journey across the universe, and it didn't take him 5,000 years to get home, just 5,000 years had passed on Earth, and there is a difference. However, he doesn't actually know how much actual time passed. Teth does know that he lost his mind in the relentless cold of space, so if he comes off as an ass now, he has rightfully earned it. Superman reveals that he wanted Teth to join the Justice League because he was a good man once, and he still could be, imploring him to help. Adam is shocked that Superman is still trying to save him after everything he has seen the man do and been through, deciding to help the hero once more. He tells Superman that he is home and he needs to take yes for an answer and learn from his mistakes and not waste the gifts he has. Later on, Clark returns home and wakes Lois up from her work, telling her that he is home finally. As he moves his tired wife back to bed, he knocks over her purse, which reveals the bottle of drugs she got to help with her cancer. Clark checks Lois's phone, finding multiple calls and texts from Lex Luther, who at the time awaits Superman to come crashing through his wall.